Everyone in eramba will have a user account, and when we say everyone, roughly speaking, there's two types of users. One type of user is the GRC people. That's the people that wants to create policies and risks and controls and compliance stuff into eramba. And then there's another type of user, we call them users. And those are the people that will give you feedback, will give feedback to the GRC people in regards to their controls, testing, risk reviews, policy reviews, and so on. So the users will typically be the heads of the departments. So when a policy, a control, or whatever it is that has to get some feedback from people, these users will be able to provide so. Everyone will have an account and everyone will be able to log it in for eramba. The authentication in eramba is done through SAML, LDAP, or using local authentication. You have three ways to authenticate users. When you log in into eramba, there's two concepts that you need to understand when it comes to access management. The one thing is where people can click. So this concept means that you can control whether people can click anywhere in the software. So whether they can come here and click on this button or this button here, or they can click here, or they can access this module or that module. In eramba, you are able to define all these clicks in a lot of granularity. So you can really tell whether people can access on the software or not. So the software becomes a lot simpler when you start removing the whole menu here and the item options in here or these models here. The second thing you need to understand is what people can see. So let's say that you let them access the risks, you don't let them do anything, but you want them to see the risks. And that's the way eramba basically will work. Now I'm logged in as an admin and I can see anything on the software. So any kind of item I will be able to see it, no matter who owns the item. But by default, when you're not a member of the admin group or you're not the admin user and you have a standard account, you only see what relates to you. So if Esteban Rivicic will log in into this eramba, Esteban will see this because Esteban is the owner, or Esteban will see this one because Esteban is the owner and the stakeholder, but Esteban will not see this risk because you see he's not here or here. By default, eramba shows what relates to you alone. There's a way to bypass this. So let's say that you're getting audited by one of the big four, and these guys, they're gonna be 6 months in your company and they need to see everything. I mean, they don't necessarily own anything, so nothing will be really assigned to them, risks or policies or anything like that, but they still need to see everything. And of course, you don't want to give them admin access. There's a concept we call visualizations that basically allows someone to see items they don't own, but still be able to see them through the whole section. When we create users, you go to settings and you go to users, and here's what basically you're gonna create these type of users I said before, the users and the GRC people. You go on create one by one using CSV imports, or you can also use LDAP synchronization to automatically create and delete accounts based on their memberships in LDAP. When you create an account, you will define what portals they can log in. So eramba has multiple portals. The main portal is the place where I am now. You also got the online assessment portal. That's the portal which is used by the online assessment functionality, which is here. And you got the account reviews, which is another portal that is used by the account reviews functionality, which is down here. Now, the reason we have separate portals is that you have complete isolation in between these systems. So when you create an account, you need to tell eramba to which portals you want that account to belong to. So if you're doing, let's say, third-party assessments, you don't want to give them access to the main or the account reviews portal. You just want them to give access to the online assessment. That's an extra layer of security for the software. The other thing you need to do is you need to assign groups to people. As you can see, a user will have one or more groups assigned to them. And these groups control where people can click. You know, I told you a little earlier, I said you can control where people can click. Well, you do that through groups. We have system groups that will help you get you started much quicker because we have the typical permissions already set up for you. And these groups basically define that, where people can access. They also define where they belong in the organization. So it's very, very likely that in your eramba, when you go to groups, you won't have just groups that define where people can click, but also you have groups in here that says, for example, finance or HR, because you want to put people in those groups. So basically when you create a control or a policy, instead of assigning those items to people, to user accounts directly, you assign them to groups.